It's 7:30 a.m. at a typical Philippine high school. While students navigate the crowded concrete hallways, their primary focus remains locked onto the glowing glass in their hands. A student taps out a quick message, a sharp rumor about a classmate, and drops it into a private group chat. It takes less than 2 seconds to type and send. This graph shows the life cycle of that single message. Within moments, that initial note triggers a cascade. Screenshots are captured and forwarded, fracturing into hundreds of views. For the sender, this massive web remains contained within a 5-inch box, feeling like an abstract void. Because the sender cannot see the immediate facial expression of the person they are talking about, a psychological barrier forms. We convince ourselves the interaction isn't quite real. Dismissing these actions as just a joke online ignores the reality of the medium. Digital keystrokes always cross over into the physical world. On the other side of that message is the targeted student. As they walk through those same bustling school gates, the noise of the morning fades into a heavy, quiet anxiety. The data on the screen translates directly into a racing heartbeat. It turns into a tight chest, looking over their shoulder in the hallway, and a very real dread of opening the classroom door. When a private photo is forwarded to a group chat, it results in immediate public humiliation. When a harsh comment is typed out in seconds, it destroys a physical friendship that took years to build. The emotional weight forces a physical reaction. The student retreats. They skip lunch, hide in the library, and actively avoid the spaces that used to feel safe. Look at this chart comparing 2 types of stress timelines. Traditional offline bullying peaks during school hours and drops when the student goes home. Digital conflict, however, remains a constant threat that follows them into their bedroom 24/7. For the person receiving the message, the screen offers zero protection. It acts as a direct pipeline, delivering a constant stream of distress directly into their physical life. That distress bleeds outward, affecting the entire school community. A dispute in a comment section quickly turns into hostile glaring across the cafeteria. Digital hostility breeds physical factions, arguments, and direct confrontations in the hallways. The structural fallout hits the entire institution. Academic focus drops as students fixate on the drama. Teachers must manage disciplinary actions instead of lessons, eroding the sense of a secure learning environment. This diagram illustrates the digital bystander effect. The small circle in the center is the target. The massive ring surrounding them represents the hundreds of students who view the post but do nothing. Their passive silence creates a crushing pressure that reinforces the toxic environment. A physically safe campus cannot exist if the underlying digital environment is allowed to remain toxic and unchecked. The cycle can be broken. It starts with someone noticing the withdrawal, stepping in and offering a reassuring hand to an isolated classmate. Support is the first step toward reporting and resolving the issue. Just as reckless digital habits damage the school, intentional choices actively heal it. The connection between our online actions and our physical environment works both ways. It all comes down to a small window of time, the mental pause. Those critical 3 or 4 seconds between typing out a message and actually hitting send. In that pause, you have to ask yourself a checklist. First, is it true? Second, is it respectful? Third, can it hurt someone? Fourth, would I say this directly to their face? And finally, could this create fear or conflict in the classroom tomorrow? Asking those questions leads to a distinct physical outcome. A thumb moves away from the send button. A harsh draft is deleted. A student actively steps away from the drama and chooses a kind response instead. School safety originates in our messages and our private posts long before we ever reach the campus gates. Think before you post. Pause before you share. Choose respect, both online and offline.